Welcome back, everyone, for another fun episode of Athletics LLC. Fun times. Everyone who traveled, but even us who watched, are sloughing off that last part of the hangover from NCAAs. So, championship season has officially come to an end for the indoor season. And that is one of the topics that we will be going into tonight, is just kind of recapping all of those short track. Is that what it's called? Short track? Short course? Whatever it is that World Athletics wants us to call it now. And then just a couple other items. So welcome back. Lucky Lamar, how are you tonight, sir?
Pretty good. A little bit fatigued. I did an overnight travel real quick, but we're good.
Good to know. Governor, how are you, sir?
I feel somewhat okay from the trip. Got back from Boston on Sunday. Monday was a blur. Tuesday was a bit fuzzy, and today I was like, oh, I have athletes. I have a group. It was my first time being myself.
That's hilarious. All in time for the storm that's coming in. So good job.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
Nonetheless. Last but never least, Sir Lucius, how are you tonight, sir?
I am well. I'm very well. Recovered well from the trip. We had some disastrous travel there and semi-disastrous back, but we got back safe and
on the way back too.
Yeah. Well, it was only an hour. It's 15 hours on the way there, only 1 hour on the way back. So
that's nothing compared to your travel there.
Exactly. Yeah. Nothing compared to that at all. So we're good. Ready to, we're ready for the real season. And so we're good now.
Real season. Wow.
Yeah.
The real season.
That was very Clyde-esque of you, sir.
Wow.
I like it. I like it.
Fake track, real track. Okay.
I mean, just saying, right? So before we get started with our recap of the indoor season, I must go over our recap of points. So
yeah. Tell me if I won before I have to go.
You didn't. So no, I'm just kidding. So funny enough, there were quite a few events that we just flat out goose-egged, like all of us, but there were some good points accumulated. So drum roll is,
Oh boy.
the governor took it home with 46 points overall. To everyone else's dismay, I came in second with 41 points. I did.
Oh man. All right.
And here we go. We did this last round too. Lucky Lamar scored 33 points. KOP 29.
Oh my goodness.
Jesus.
Yes. Brutal.
Here's what's funny, Chu, and this has happened a couple of times now. Ever since I've joined the show, for some reason I end up near Clyde at the meet. A race goes off, and everybody's watching the race, and Clyde and I are looking at each other like, "Oh my god!"
They're going points.
I'm sure anyone looking at us is going, "Why are they looking like this?"
Up smoke. Terrible.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I mean, we're like mouthing to each other. Oh, we butchered that one. Oh, we absolutely butchered that one.
Yeah, I was watching the women's multi going, yeah.
Look, we gotta stop. We gotta stop multis. That's the problem.
No.
Oh
no.
I gotta give you guys adventure and challenging.
Right? Yeah. So
didn't see any of that.
Here is the greatest part. Governor, this is just a tribute to us, just to let you know this.
Okay.
You and I were the ones who won the tiebreakers. I guesstimated Leo's score being 63-63, so I was 16 points off his actual score.
Right.
You had predicted the women's 800 winning time to be 59.45.
Yep.
Wow, you got real close to that.
Yeah, so you're 800s off. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, man.
Proof is in the pudding,
I was close, but not close enough.
Not at all.
Yeah, same.
Either first.
What was Leo's score in the HEP?
63-47.
And what did you guess?
63, 63.
Oof.
Like, I kid you not. So like I used the score table, right? I was hundredths or what is that? Millimeters, centimeters off of every mark.
So wait a minute. If I would have went 1 point under instead of 1 point over, I would have won.
Heck to the nah. Because that would have been 79. I still would have won.
No,
I did the same thing, but I thought he was going to hurdle better.
Oh man.
terrible.
Anyhow, get better.
Hey, it is what it is.
Get better.
Wow, get better.
As Sir Lucia will
Okay.
say, be better.
Be
Yes,
better.
Be better.
Okay.
Be better.
exactly. So anyhow, just for poops and giggles, that was what you all, it's so funny on my Facebook memories. This comes up every year on this day. So it's always fun to see what we did in the past. we classically sucked this up sometimes. So
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm gonna need you to phrase that better.
suck. Oh yeah, no. Okay. Messed it up a lot.
Pause.
Phrase that better.
My bad. Anyhow, all right, short
Yeah,
course.
so so it's funny when you bring up the women's 800, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm not sure there was a bigger favorite going into the meet than Michaela Rose, and she's been killing people all year long.
Yeah.
With 150 to go in the race, I out loud said JJ Clark because I saw it coming. I saw it coming, right? That's JJ Clark.
Oh man.
And yeah, he's a master, man. He figured it out.
Last
and-
lap, she is right behind her, and I'm going, this is not
Yeah.
looking good. This
Mhm.
is she's on
Yeah.
pace. Oh man.
and Miss Rose ran well,
Yes.
she
Yeah.
was just better. Yeah. It was an interesting championship. Obviously, we're in the heated battle of a lot of things, but I'm going right out of the back to say, hey, Mr. Morales Williams backed it up.
Yes, he did.
He backed it up. And then when you watch him run the first round, it's like, you might have been right. And then I think maybe he went and watched the show that night. He's like, I got something for you, Chew.
I would just like to say, y'all know I'm on a professional business, so I gotta go.
Mhm.
I missed the pre-show. I still want my story time. I still want my story time.
All right, we'll get it later this week.
I will try to return if I can. Y'all enjoy.
All right.
All right, man.
All right.
Good luck.
Later.
What's funny about that race is I almost got what I wanted, because if y'all remember, I said what I really wanted was the fully chaos time. I wanted him to not run a PB but run faster than the existing world record.
Oh
He
yeah.
almost did it.
Yeah.
He almost did it, and that would be like it would be.
Well,
the
he's still
epitome of only-
almost a full 10th off of it.
Mm-hmm.
right, because it's 57,
he
right?
wasn't close. Yeah, so he wasn't close.
I mean, a 10th in the 400 is not a lot,
A 10th in anything's
right? I mean, 10th in the 100's a lot.
990, 10 flat. A 10th is a 10.
I just said a 10th in the 100.
45 flat, 45-1. It's a 10.
Yep.
It's not close.
What's the difference?
Okay, so look, so is 995 and 10 flat close?
No,
It's not. So why is
but it's 100.
and 4657 close?
It's 100.
It's a 10th of a
a
second.
10th in a.
If you're having a
tenth-
nose picking
a tenth of a
contest,
second
it's a
at
10th of
400
a
is not a
second.
lot.
So it's not nothing's close about that.
Okay, let's please move on, because he is obviously he drunk his child potions tonight. You drinking
Hold on
out of
a
a juice
second.
box tonight?
You're not calling me a child because I'm making a point that you're wrong. That's not right. That's totally disrespectful.
No, I'm not
sir.
wrong.
And
But I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to debate this on this show.
It's nothing to debate. A 10th of a second isn't close.
Okay, that's fine.
You don't have to be. Okay, so just so you understand, his coach walks up to me and says, we still have work to do. We didn't get close to breaking the existing world record. We still have 0.11 to break the record, and we weren't close. That's what he said. I'm just saying.
Mm.
That's what Kareem, the other Kareem,
Yes.
said to me.
So Sir Lucius, let's you know, what did you think of the setup of New Balance, and from
So
staging to warm-up area to the way the meet was run? I mean, what were your thoughts on it?
so I'm gonna. I think this is what you want me to do, is get on my soapbox for a moment. So I'm gonna engage and get on the soapbox. So so the issue I have with the NCAA is that we make these decisions to hold these meets in places because they like the track, right? It's a wonderful track. Okay. The warm-up area, which is a floor above, it's okay,
Mm-hmm.
but there's some space issues there. And then the team area, I mean, it's downstairs. It's in actually another building.
Yes.
So we're blessed in the fact that it wasn't raining or snowing, because if it was, we'd have to walk through the rain or the snow. And actually, part of the meet, it was raining, so you had to walk through the rain to get to the team camp area. Right? It's in this like bar, like right. It's a bar.
It's
It's
like
like
an indoor, like
it's
hall, like a concert hall type.
no, not a concert hall. Don't be that nice. It's a bar. It's a
Yeah.
stage. It's a stage, right? I mean, there was a bar to the right,
Right.
and behind the bar there was alcohol, but it was locked up.
Yes.
There were chips. It was like it's like a nightclub.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yes.
everybody's there, and you have these things that are cordoned off, and there was upstairs, right? So you could, people had spaces upstairs, but at the end of the day, like it just wasn't NCAA level worthy. Like if we're going to have the best athletes compete in the hardest meet in the world to qualify for, let's treat them a little better. My even bigger issue for me is the NCAA just puts meet there and they don't do anything to monitor it. But there's nobody in the warm-up area. Everything we get says no electronics in the warm-up, no headphones, no ear pods. I made a call to somebody on the committee, and I'm like, 90% of the people up here have headphones or ear pods in, right? It's men's day. On the first day, there's supposed to be no women in the warm-up area doing anything during the men's meet. There were 4 or 5 women up there doing 4 warm-ups in spikes, doing acceleration warm-up. Now, where's the NCAA to monitor that, right? I had a conversation, with Edric Floriel about some of this stuff, and Edric made a great point. We're the only sport where we're forced to share with our competitors, right? We have to share hurdles, we have to share lanes, we have to share space, and there's no one that monitors all this.
Yeah.
How many times have we witnessed dang near altercations in the warm-up area over hurdles?
Absolutely.
Right? And it just continues to happen because nothing's monitored. There's no clear. I mean, it was clear to anybody that was paying attention that in the warm-up area on the 4th floor, the 2 inside lanes were very narrow and the 2 outside lanes were wider. That's where the hurdling should go on the 2 outside lanes.
Right.
But there was nobody that ever said that. And so there were disagreements about that space, right? But again, there was nobody from the NCAA there to do anything about it.
Yeah.
So, not trying to be rude or disrespectful to the NCAA, but do better. If you're going to put these events on, don't just say, "Here's the event. Now let's just fire the gun and get out of here."
Yeah.
Make the experience for the student athlete better.
With the 3 different rooms, there needed to be a flow.
Yes.
And there needed to be a guided flow, and there needed to be people enforcing that.
Mm-hmm.
And if anyone's been to a Pat Henry track meet, I mean, or if anyone's been to a meet at Florida, you understand you cannot go here. You cannot go here. You will go here when we let you go here. And that's how it should be. You would expect that.
Right. I mean, like, okay, so in the meet information, it said you cannot be in that last staging area 30 minutes before the event. Your event starts, right? There were people back there doing their 4 warm-ups, right? During the DMR, there were teams who were competing in the 4x4 the next day, doing 4 warm-ups and doing accelerations and stuff in their spikes. I mean, like, so because so there's 8 people from school X, they can't all be on DMR, right? That kind of thing. So yeah, I just think they got to monitor it better. I think that they've got to put a little more effort into making it more special for the student athlete. And I've said this to people, and I'll keep saying it. Maybe they'll listen, but at the end of the day, you just can't say, "Oh, the meet's there. We'll figure it out." Like I don't know how you walk into that team camp area and go, "Man, this is a great idea for us to be in." It was dark.
Yes,
it's a bar. It's a club. I don't know what it is, but specifically, but it's not where you should have a team warm area. There's nothing in there. Like you come here, you walk in. There's a bar right here, right? Right, and then you walk down some stairs, and then there's that's where they put everybody. Over there to the left, there's another bar, right? It's clearly, a gathering spot. Let's call it.
Here's my second question.
Wait, before we move on.
Go ahead.
So thinking about resolution, right? We can't identify a problem without having a resolution to it. So it sounds like resolution comes from more personnel per the NCAA, or maybe requiring the New Balance track at New Balance, or whatever it's called. Those people having more guards, people strength, whatever you want to call it, to navigate that and to hold people to the fire.
Well, see, okay, so there's no need for a guard in a team warm period. It just means the team camp period just shouldn't be a team camp period, in my opinion. Okay. Like it wasn't very spacious. There were teams that literally had a box that was like 6 feet by 3 feet.
10 or more people that literally had a space that they could literally stand up, and that was it.
Exactly, right. Yeah, it wasn't good.
No.
It's like the monitoring process needs to happen in the warm-up area. There again, I'm disappointed in the coaches, right, that allow their athletes to do this. I know, because mine know better. Like, we didn't even do that. One of my athletes was his recovery day. He was jogging in the grass with the phone. Melanie Welty said to him, "What school do you go to?"
Yeah.
And he immediately said, "Coach, I'm sorry, I'll put it down." Right. So, I mean, it's the rule, but nobody's following the rule. Nobody's enforcing the rule, And so anyway, at the end of the day, I just think that they got to do better. They got to do better. What was your other question, Governor?
My other question was, so, day 1 and day 2, how was it for you being there the entire day?
Exhausting.
Exhausting. I sat there on Friday, and I'm just saying to myself, and the thing about it was there was a bit of a break in between sessions, and you could see the early crowd migrating out, and then there was a period of time when there was nothing happening, and then the new crowd moves in, and then the next meet starts, and I'm sitting there going, man, for the coaches that have men and women at this meet for 48 hours, I cannot imagine how exhausted you guys were.
Oh no, dude, it's a mental strain, it's a physical strain, mentally, physically, emotionally, whatever you want to call it. It's just draining. And see, again, this is where the powers that be, okay, I get it. They want to showcase the women. Okay, and I'm good with that, right? But you're showcasing the women at the cost of the coaches, right? Because we're tired, we're exhausted, and then we got to go. So look, our men's multi was the first guy out. If he gets in, that adds 4 hours to my day, both days, right? I'm just like, man, and so outdoors is better because it's separate days and it's not the days aren't as long. But they need to really consider putting the meets back together indoors. They need it, and for the sake of nothing else, one, the health and well-being of the coaches and staff, and two, we saw the double that the Arkansas girls did. That double's a lot more attainable if the men are in the meet. Okay, it gives them another 10, 15 minutes, right? And so like just things like that. You know, it'll make the meet better when the meets are together. Unless you're gonna make it a 4-day meet as well, which I no parts of. Zero parts of that. But
Well,
at the end of the day, man, like they make bad decisions sometimes, and I think those are bad decisions.
and there were comments about that women's group that doubled in the 4 and the 2, and the fact that, you know, a day like that can take years off your career. Like it's, you know, now to their credit, you know, obviously I don't know if they were instructed, hey, just get through this healthy, you know, we're good. Because I didn't notice that anyone was particularly trying to win. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think they couldn't. So let's start there.
Well,
because okay, I will say I thought F Young's effort was good early. She just didn't have it.
Yeah.
I would say that Price's effort was very good early, and Amber Anning was just clearly trying to make sure she stayed in her lane and got the point.
Yeah.
And you know, the ironic thing about it is, if they don't run the 200, they don't win the meet.
There you go.
Because they got DQ'd in the 4x4.
There you go.
And they win the meet by 5 points. You take those 6 points away. Yeah.
Wow.
There's a real fight going on in Boston right now. They don't double.
Oh man.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think that there's a lot of great things that happened in the meet. You know, kudos to Texas Tech. You know, wow. You know, like their first one, they got it done. And they did it the Texas Tech way. You know, they did it in the sprints and hurdles. They had one high jumper, I believe, you know. You know, a big, you know, they were on a mission. Watching their 400-meter guy the first day was a great example of like, I'm going to find a way to get in this final. I'm going to find a way to help my team. And those efforts is what I think, you know, the reason why they're the national champions. You know, great job by them. You know. Is there any performance that you guys saw during the meet that made you just go, wow, didn't see that coming?
Well, for me, the women's long jump was
Yes. Thanks. I mean, they picked on me a little bit.
I mean, everything about it, you know, she opens up with a PB, like 15, 20 centimeters, and things meander for a while. And then the last 3 rounds, oh my gosh, like it brought back like what the long jump is. Okay. The champions rise to the occasion, right? And so you know, she gets behind on her last attempt. She's up for her last attempt and she has to respond. You have no choice.
And she does.
And she does.
Yeah. And the beauty of it, when you're watching the long jump, like Claire's dropping bombs and little fouls and dropping bombs, right? So as soon as the green light comes on, I know it's over 22 feet. Because she's been doing it all night, right?
Yeah.
And the great thing about it, I apologize, I don't even know the young lady's name. Sydney. She gets on the runway and she's just standing there like, okay. Like, no pressure, no hype. Let me just go on here and win the NCAA championship, you know? And I'm not sure if this is true. Somebody told me she was the last girl to get into the event. Is that true?
She's a multi. She's not even
So I was going to tell you.
Yeah.
So we compete against her regularly, right? And so when I saw her in the meet, I was like, wow, skin of the teeth, like crazy, right? And primarily we see her in the multis because she competes in the long jump, but it's a multi that competes in the long jump, right? And not to be disrespectful, but that's kind of how she's performed. Towards the top, but not like a banger, like you would think of Claire, right? So when I'm watching the results come through, I'm like, huh? And then I'm watching going into finals and I'm like, oh, she's done. Like she's going to take 3 more jumps, but she's not going to further the mark. And then I'm like, holy crap, she's furthering the mark.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm watching her and her coach interact and I'm like, this is really happening.
Yeah.
Like she's really doing it. And it was super exciting to watch because you see her and she's very unassuming, right? She's really petite. You just don't think she's going to jump that.
Yeah.
And so it's super awesome. And I can't wait to be able to see them. Like, selfishly, I can't wait to be able to see her and her coach and be like, that's what's up. Good job.
Incredible job.
Yeah, like can't even
Incredible
imagine like
job.
that feeling, that rush that you all got, because
She
I was feeling it at home for her.
she
Mhm.
gets in the meet with 644 and
Yeah.
jumps 674. Like
Right. Yeah.
30
Crazy.
centimeters?
30 centimeters. Yeah.
Come on,
Crazy.
man.
That's the
Yeah.
essence of being ready when it counts the most.
Absolutely.
Well, it's crazy because it was like that. I mean, that usually is like that happens once, right? And then you
Mhm.
get to the women's triple jump. That
Oh,
was
man.
60 centimeters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Right? Like that's just like I don't know what you do with that, right? Like
Right.
when you're planning it, when you're planning like who the players are and what they can do, you don't give anybody 60 centimeters to their PB. Like no matter how ready they are, you know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like you just don't plan for that.
Right.
So like, you know, kudos to those two young ladies for
Ruta.
showing up
Yeah.
to the national meet prepared with no ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
Right. No,
And
I was
that is
very
absolutely
impressed
awesome.
with the quarter milers from A&M. The
Oh,
young man.
man. Yes.
Ahmad.
Ahmad, very impressed with Ahmad.
Mhm.
Just
I was very impressed with Caleb Dean. You know, that's
Mhm.
not an easy double. And he
Yeah.
pulled it off. You know, he did a phenomenal job with that.
What would you
I was
say
actually
Northern Arizona's performance?
I think that this is just not about Northern Arizona, you know, and this will apply to most people with the exception of Parker Valby, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
It's a different topic.
Insane.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, we see her every day, but I mean, like, wow, right? But
Class personified, man.
right. So in watching the distance races, the majority of them this weekend, what we see is, and I know the Lucky Lamar has talked about this before, like they spend all year in setup races, chasing marks, and then they get to the meet and they all jog, right?
Yeah.
And then so it's like, you know, and if we're going to set the races up, clearly that helped Northern NAU, but the way the meet's set up, you know, the only one that can handle it is Salmon, it seems. Yeah.
Man.
You know what's funny is that you know what you've just described, Mouse. That's Fugazi time trialing.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
Oh my gosh.
Is it not?
Oh boy. It is. It is.
Here we go.
That's what it is. Right? Like
and so that's what I saw. Like it's just, yeah. You know, I mean, there's no other way to describe it. It is what it is. It's, you know, and but I think that's what hurts them a little bit. But I mean, they were still fourth in the country.
Yeah.
And you know, that's the, you know, shame on the NCAA for taking away their trophy this year.
Yeah.
You know,
Wait.
shame on them.
Yeah, there's
only three trophies now.
All the Olympic sports only get three now.
I was thinking like taken away because something happened. Sorry.
No. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Sorry.
The funniest part about that, right, is like that's how it should have been from the beginning, and we would be fine, right? Because all the Olympic sports, you know, we base off gold, silver, and bronze. Fine. But if you're going to put us in the basketball model and give us 4 trophies because basketball has 4 regions, right? Why would you ever take one away? Everything NCAA ever does is about athlete experiences and things of that nature. And the reason we have divisions and all those things, right? So more people can have trophies. Why would you ever put any scenario where you take a trophy away?
There's no consistency to anything they do. You know, I had this discussion with a member of the committee this week, and like I said to them, it's like, okay, we just make decisions. Okay, so we want to make sure that we move the indoor meet around for the student athlete experience, but yet we need the outdoor meet in the same place. Right?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, there's no consistency in anything they're doing. That made no sense. And I mean, what are they saving $1,000? You know, I don't know. Yeah.
If that.
So with that, yeah.
So
I mean, I just
go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, was this year a little weird from the standpoint of top 12 on the women's side was 20 points. right? It took 20 points to be top 12 on the woman. On the men's side, 10 teams scored 20 or more. So is there a situation where there's more?
Well, I think there's a little more quality, right?
Uh-huh.
Because usually you could be 20 and to be like 12 points, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. And so I think there was a little more quality in the overall meet. And just being there, I did notice that I felt like there was a little bit more intensity than normal, right? There's always the intensity, like also on the men's side, it's us, Arkansas, and Tech. Like, those three teams are going to be intense, but there were other schools there that, we're seeing it, like Ole Miss on the women's side.
Wow.
Right. Yeah, like they're a DQ of if the Arkansas doesn't get DQ'd in the 4x4, they're fourth in the country.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's big shout out to Connie and John and Holland. What that's great performances by them. So yeah, I noticed that too. It was a lot more, a little more passion and pride in the building this
Yeah.
year. Yeah.
Will this be the new trend where you have to be in the 50s instead of the 60s? I mean, on both sides, it took 55 on the women, 50 on the men.
Well, I think
I'm gonna answer that question for him. No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Well,
I'm just going to answer that question for him.
I think those are outlying performances. Texas Tech and Arkansas both have very, very special teams. Typically, if you can get to 45, you'll win the meet. And we've won the meet a lot between 40 and 45.
Okay.
So you guys use the word pride. I'm asking this because this is kind of an underlying theme that we've talked about performances this year. Does this decrease get de-intensified with the COVID people going away?
No, I don't think so. I think that, I think it's like anything else. I think that once people start doing things, they know it's achievable. So it raises the ceiling. It raises the, the level of expectation. So I don't expect that. I don't expect you'll see a drop at all.
Well,
I think I think it'll be the same.
Again, I go back to the fact that there were 5 guys over 8 meters. Like, they're the current people at the top have set the bar, right? And it looks, and this is what you want. You want the bar to be high. So now you have to aim high. And I mean, something that I think went unnoticed was the fact that the quality of the jumps. I mean, it was very impressive.
They heard
shout out to Russell Robinson and our the folks down in Miami. Great job. That guy was like a 49-footer in high school.
He looked really good. Really,
he did. Rob's done a phenomenal job with him.
Yeah.
So we've only spoke about the NCAA meet. What about World Indoors? And Sir Lucius, I'm going to prompt you to give the grade for Grant's race, as we were asked that in the comments last week.
Okay, so round 1 was an A, even though he didn't like it, but it's like, dude, it's 10:30 in the morning and you run 7.4. So he's just mad because he ran 7.4. But okay. Then don't run for 7.4. But it was a great race.
Faster.
Yeah. I thought the semifinal was his best technical effort. I don't think that the final wasn't that I wanted the start to be faster. I wanted to be more efficient. But what I loved about the final was, even though he didn't have that rocket start everybody wants him to have, he really is honing into the fact that I want him about, you don't have to have the rocket start.
Yeah.
The idea is to make sure you have momentum going through one, not getting there first. And so I gave him an A. I think I might have given him an A- in one of the races, but I gave him an A in all of them. It's hard not to give a guy A when he wins the world championship and runs the second fastest time in history. So phenomenal job. Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you this. From what you saw in that final, could he have taken that through 4 more hurdles?
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. See, So, and that's funny that you asked because his last workout with me was 2x9 hurdles. So yeah. So
Okay. Okay.
So I think that, you know, I have to give credit where credit's due. And he and I had a very hard line conversation after Worlds last year where I challenged him and I challenged myself, and we both accepted the challenge. And so what you're seeing is a byproduct of that. And so yeah, no, there's no doubt in my mind that he can and will do that for the next 4 or 5 hurdles.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah. The big showdown, Coleman versus Lyles. Yeah. You know, I think there's a lot of people, myself included, that weren't so sure that Noah had his number, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't see the semi, but when I turned, I didn't see Coleman's semi, but I saw Lyles' semi, and Otto, who I have the utmost respect for, said Noah's gonna have to run a lot faster than that if he wants to beat Christian. I knew then Christian was gonna win the final.
When I saw Christian semi and the way he looked when he crossed the line, I said, "Oh no."
Yeah, see, I didn't get to see it.
It's not happening today. This
right.
dude is on a mission, at the right time. You know, because winning USA's is one thing, but you got to come back it up. And this is what the sport needs. You need to see things like this. You need to see a back and forth, and this is going to project into outdoors. I mean, I'm excited about.
Oh yeah.
When those two link up again.
I think the trend that I like about what's going on in the last 2 years in particular is like nobody is showing any deference to favorites anymore. Like there used to be kind of a not, you're never giving it to them, right? But there was always some level of deference. Like, look, there was no reason that anybody in that meet should have thought they could beat Leo in the heptathlon. And I am telling you, Heath absolutely and positively went after Leo.
Yeah.
Right? Like he made Leo have to run 1,000. Right? It wasn't like close, but the point is like that should have been a sleepwalk. But there's so many people now are doing what you're supposed to do, right? Is all right, so the bar is raised. That means I got to get better and go do better. And, that's what Leo did to Kyle last year, right? I mean, not one of us thought that Kyle was going to have any real competition at the meet last year. And Leo laid in the cut and was prepared. And I like it. It's good stuff.
So where does these worlds set up Femke Bowl for outdoors? Like what do we see?
Man. Oh man. Oh man. See, and again, maybe this just is the old guy in me. But like if you just watch her closely, she's running 400 hurdle rhythm indoors in the 400.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the same rhythm she runs in the 400 hurdle rhythm.
Yes.
So they're clearly working on the hurdles and the rhythm required to run faster than the okay. I can't be the only one that sees that. Right.
Man.
So and look, it is BK. So he's gonna clap back as the young folks say, right? He's gonna clap back. But I think that we're looking at something epic between the two of them at the end of the summer. Oh my goodness. But it's just like even if you watch the 4x4, right? So there's this people out there that I'm sure are going, oh, she's gonna do it again. No, Femke wasn't running.
Yeah.
And then we're like 50 to go. She was like, I'm out. Right. See, she couldn't do that last year.
I think I said in the group chat, it looked like Marion Jones at Penn Relays.
Yes.
When she sat and just waited. Oh, you think you're gonna run? Oh, okay.
Right.
Right. It looked like that.
Right. Right.
And
go ahead. Just phenomenal, man. Like I just watching her, like that was a highlight of the meet for me.
Yeah, man.
Watching her, how masterful she was. That was really good. And I think, you got to give a shout out to Ryan Krauser. I mean, he is who he is. The American women in the distance races, phenomenal.
Yeah.
The young boy on the men's side, in the 15. did a great job. And also Bryce in the 8.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if
Getting
we're
it
gonna
done.
play homage to somebody, Mondo, you know, we're at 585 and he seems to be struggling, and he booms his third attempt, and he's like, "Okay, guys, I'm tired of playing around. Like, enough's enough." You know.
Yeah.
So what were you guys' take on the men's jumps, the long triple and high on the men's side?
As much as I'm singing the praises of the men at NCAAs, I don't see it, you know, and I don't know how many athletes were actually prepared for these indoor championships. But again, a tie at 8:22. I mean,
Event third at the NCAA meet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
No, so that's the part that's just it bugs me. It really does. You know, and once again, like I really wonder for the athletes and the particulars that are in that arena. If you know that you probably just need to jump over 8 meters to get a medal at World Champion, why not? Like, come on. So, yeah, it was another week long jump event for me on the men's side. On the women's side, if they are going to let Tara Davis kick that door open, look
They
out.
may never get it closed again.
They will never. What she did and the way she did it, man, it's gonna be tough. I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
You know? She knows what 7 meters feels like multiple times now. You know, so it's a great thing for USA Jumping. It's a great thing to see that happening, you know, for USA Jumps.
Right.
So, triple jump. What did you think, Lamar, about the triple on the men and women side? I mean, did you think what was her name from Maryland?
Tia.
No, Thea LaFon.
Thea LaFon.
Yeah. I just butchered her name, didn't I?
That's probably like my.
I just changed her name.
The result is probably the result that made me the happiest, because I was in the conference in the Big Ten competing, you know, coaching kids to compete against her.
Yeah.
All the way back, like back then. And to see how far she's come.
Oh man.
It's funny, like her PB was 14, I think 90 something, right? But you could see how much jumping 15 meters meant to her.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like that was a ginormous barrier for her mentally. And I wouldn't be surprised if the next real meet she's in, she jumps like 15:30, just because you could see there was a mountain that had finally been crested. And for once, it was kind of cool to watch a women's triple jump competition and not know the result before it happened.
Rojas.
Right?
Well,
not even just Rojas, right? Rojas world record. Like, I mean, like in indoors, that's pretty much what you're gonna see.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know. It was fun. This was a very interesting world indoors to watch. I was crazy enough to get up at 4:45.
You did
3:45.
Okay.
Yeah. I got up all 3 days.
Okay. I reserve that for the World Cup and the Olympics only. I will not. I was not going to do it for World Indoors. No.
Well, I had to get up because I had people running at those points. So I had no choice. Now, if I didn't have anybody running, I would have been sleeping like the governor. But I didn't think I wanted to call my. Oh yeah, I missed your race, man. Tell me about it.
Send me the video.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I think it was great meet. Great meet.
The Happen that meet was probably one of the best events. And part of it was because, like, you know, none of the medalists were there from World Championships outdoors, right? So it was like everybody there was like, look, this is my chance to get some hardware.
Yeah.
And they did a great job. He did a great
Okay,
job.
so let's address the elephant in the room. Men's 4x4.
Oh,
I mean, so
you just had to bring it
yeah.
down, didn't you?
I mean, hey, look, I mean, like it's everybody else is talking about it, and I mean,
Yes.
are afraid to talk about it. So we've never been afraid to tackle things. And
No.
so this is my take on it. I think Mike was trying to find a way to win, right, by running Noah. But if you're going to run Noah, Noah's got to split 44, blow the race open, and you win the medal. But when he splits 45-6, which you have multiple people there who could do that, right? Then now it doesn't go well for you at all. And I don't think Noah did anything to solidify him and put himself in a position to even be thought of for the out. I mean, there's the number of people out there that like, oh my God, he did a great job. Like, really? Okay. There's nothing about that performance that says, yeah, let's get that dude on the relay in Paris. My thing with Noah, and I'm a big Noah Lyles fan, 1, 2, 4x1, because I believe in my heart and soul that if we put the right 4 guys on the track and we pass the stick well, we can challenge the world record. But we cannot break the world record with that if that dude's not on the end. Right? No.
Exactly.
Because I think that's a challenge that if you place that on his plate and say, hey, we're going to get you the stick out front, and we need you to do what only you can do, and that's just that last leg when you're out front like that. That's a bigger challenge for me than the 4x4 thing. Let's let that go.
Yeah, I think collectively, when Bailey got the stick and he wasn't that far ahead of Alexander Doom, I was like,
right.
He just did it in the 400 final. He already showed you his class, and you don't gap him enough. It was,
and it wasn't just what he did in the 400; it was who he did it to.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, when you out psycho the psycho, that's a thing.
Yeah,
right. When you out psycho the psycho, it's a thing. I just want
to
say,
am I the only one that watches Warholm slap himself? Like, man, does that hurt? Like, he slaps himself hard.
A lot.
Like, not just he slaps his legs hard, his chest, his face. I'm like, dude, you're gonna have a broken jaw one of these days.
Yeah. I think that the lasting memory for me in that whole situation is just that, like, American men should never walk off the track smiling and excited about a silver medal in a 4x4.
Nope.
And I know that sounds elitist, but at the end of the day, that's honest, right? In this country, that should never happen, for one. And for two, I hope every quarter miler in the United States takes ridiculous and utter umbrage to the thought of Noah being on a 4x4 and just everybody goes out there and drops 44 50s and below open, and it's like, yeah, put him on the relay now. Because it's a ridiculous thought, and it's so insane to me. It's so insane to me.
Yeah.
I can't help but go back to the last time this debate was raging. And what happened? They put Alan Johnson in the prelims. And he ran the prelim. And he got them to the final.
It was a prelim, and B, because
he
somebody
ends
got
up
hurt
getting a
at
medal.
the meet. But somebody got hurt at the meet.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? There was nothing wrong with Trevor Bassett.
Right. Exactly.
Or
maybe
USA champion.
Maybe the problem with Trevor Bassett is his balls were too big, because clearly he dove through 3 different people to miraculously hand off a stick in a situation that no other human being in a U.S. uniform would have made that pass but him, because he gave up. Look, he passed off the stick and then tried to figure out what was going to happen to him, because there was a forward roll.
You want to hear this?
Uh-oh.
He gave off the stick and yelled out, "and won."
I saw that. I heard that in the interview, and I laughed so hard.
That's Trevor Bassett.
That's classic.
Here's the great thing about that, and this is where I've had discussions, and I'll share that privately, not on the air. But what I said to the people I talked to was, all you had to do was listen to the telecast. The announcer said before the gun went off, we need to give praise and credit to Trevor Bassett, because without his efforts, the USA wouldn't be in this final.
Absolutely.
I
Right.
heard that too.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Phenomenal. And if you don't know Trevor, what a phenomenal human being.
Mhm.
He just whatever you want him to do, man. Like just and obviously I coach him. But I don't give credit. I'm not trying to take care for developing him, because Ernie and that crew did a phenomenal job before he came here. But wow, what a great young man! What a great young man! But for him to do that and yell out "and one" is classic Trevor.
We need to get TB shirts made for him that on the back say "and one," because that is amazing.
Right.
So
That is
can
awesome.
can we pay homage to 765
Oh,
world record?
Yeah.
Devin
See,
Charlton.
and the thing with that one is, like, I don't know. I only want to get the sense there's more there.
Oh yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's not. It's kind of like what we're starting. Her and Grant are both like they're still accelerating. Right. Like, so like Devin, and the same thing, Devin didn't get that usual rocket start. It was a good start.
Right.
But what she did from hurdle 1 to 5, especially 3 to 5, was like, whoa, never seen that before, you know? So kudos to her, kudos to Lonnie Green, phenomenal job. Phenomenal job.
I think the thing that's most telling for me, or as you put it, we've all seen Devin hurdle for a long time. That looks like it translates outside.
Could you try again?
Right? Like that doesn't look like we got 5 and we're trying to hold on. Like that looks like there's a lot more coming.
And those of us who know Lonnie, she's in shape now. she can run 5 more hurdles. So don't you worry yourself about that.
Love it.
Don't you worry yourself about that.
Any last comments before we move on? I mean, there's 1,002 things we've not covered, but definitely, those are some great highlights.
The highlights, yeah.
Yes.
And great things just to remember going forward, right? Because we are transitioning. This isn't the end of the season; it's a transition to the outdoor. So this is our radar. Definitely main things on our radar, but there are many things on the radar to come out or to come up with for the next season the season coming up. So
we will get killed if we don't mention this. One of the most quality events at the NCAA championships did not disappoint. We had 3 young ladies who came into the meet at 194 better in the high jump, and the high jump was won at 2 meters.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, here's the crazy thing about the high jump. It took 188 to score.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
8th place.
Like I said, we were going to get killed if we didn't mention that.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Like in many years, if you can make 185 on your first attempt, you get a point or 2.
Oh, you're going to.
185 got you 12th this year. Got you 12th. So yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, it was. And for it to not end the way everybody thought it was going to end, even crazier.
Yeah.
Right? So awesome. That's fun, not fun to go into that recruiting cycle with, right? So best wishes to all the female high jumpers.
Right.
Championship record also on the men's side, Romaine Beckford jumping 227. I mean, good Lord, responding to Caleb Snowden, who only went 224. I mean, that was
only 224.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the bar is set, man. It is.
I mean, and we talk about this privately, and I'm sure we've said it publicly before too, but like it's the Olympic year.
Yes.
You look at some of the performances we've seen at the high school level, which clearly we can't talk about this form, and we won't, but there's been phenomenal performances. And also, so we need to mention this. I mentioned her name, but we didn't talk about her performances. Parker Valby and what she did. I mean, breaking her own collegiate record in the 5K, and then coming back in the 3K in a race where I would say very few people gave her a chance because of how fast Markevich, is how you pronounce her name? The Notre Dame young lady is.
Yeah.
And watching the race, with about 1,200 to go, I'm like, man, Parker looks That didn't look hard for her.
Mm-hmm.
And then with 1,000 to go, when she made the move and went around her, I mean, wow, just phenomenal racing by Parker. And I'm gonna give her a shout out because she gets to go on the wall now. She's got 4.
That's cute. That
Well,
was
that's
very
what I was
nice.
going to say, because the first thing she said,
Yeah, I get to
Yeah.
go on the wall.
post race,
Yes.
I'm going on the wall now.
Yeah.
She was extremely excited about
Listen, right now it's Death, Taxes, and Parker Valley.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And what was to me the best moment in the entire NCAA meet? Because I saw it happen and I was like, did I really see that happen? And then they had a whole conversation about it after the 5K. She's running and beating the living snot out of everybody in the world.
Yes.
And gives a double
Thumbs
up
up.
to her teammate.
Yes, in the long jump.
Who just hit a big jump in the long jump. I'm like,
yeah. See, and at that point,
she is focused on other things.
Taylor Rowe was still there at that point. If you watch the video, Taylor's still
right
there,
behind her.
and she just gives her the thumbs up and smiles at her. And I'm like, wow. But to know Parker, none of us were surprised. Like that's the beauty of Parker is like, and we encourage her to be herself, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't try to dampen that light at all. And look, incredible job by Will and Sam Palmer, just incredible job. They are Team Palmer and they do an incredible job. Very, very happy they're on my staff. Let's put it that way.
It's not competing against them.
Exactly. Yeah. So.
All right. Well, awesome. Great recap. And again, we are acknowledging that we're not highlighting everything. That was the big highlights that we wanted to make sure we got out on the ether. But nonetheless, today revealed with some information. And this information is eye-catching in regards to what we are now seeing as a trend.
Mm-hmm.
So Penn Relays released the information today that some specific events at Penn Relays will be have achieved silver status. So how important is this trend? We will call it a trend to the international student athletes in the NCAA.
Yeah, I'm not smart enough to figure that out. To be honest with you, off the top of my head, I'm going to say I think it's more important to not so much put them in a meet where there's silver status or gold status, but put them in a position to meet the standard. I think if you're a distance runner and you're an international, the goal is to go out west, get in the fast race and get the Olympic standard, and then be named to your team. I think for me, that process is still more important than the gold, silver, bronze thing, because there's just not enough of those in the States that you can go chase points anyway. And if you're an international college student, are you good enough to even get in those competitions? Right? That's the other problem right there. And the Penn Relays, there's 12 events, and 2 of them there's 6 men's events, 6 women's events, and 2 of them are relays.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah.
Well, they're scratching the surface now, and congrats to Tom Jones for achieving silver status. But what did Tom Jones do for the last 5 years? They were only the best meet in the country up until the end of the summer season. So, of course, and I feel that what is going to happen, much like indoors, where we're trying to get to the best tracks, right? Trying to get on the fastest tracks. The more that these meets, the Texas Relays, the Penn Relays, the Drake Relays, the more that they expand in, the events, the silver standard events, the more that international student athletes, we have about 20 on our team. And so we're now having these conversations where they're asking, like, where can we go? Or, I have X amount of things to do before my national championships at the end of June. So is it possible for me to go? And those are the questions that are being asked. Now, and it's important, and you hit the nail on the head, Sir Lucius, and it's important that you note that the entire meet is not silver status.
Yeah.
There are only certain events that are silver status. for the entire meet, now you're talking about that's a whole different kettle of fish. So I think going forward, educating the kids on, what it means and what it takes, because what it means is that there's going to be a lot less opportunity.
I think he froze.
He did freeze.
Yes, he did.
No.
Hard.
Froze with authority.
Yes, he did.
Well, you know what? He'll come back, but like I mentioned this like during the NCAA meet in our group chat. We are doing an incredible job of developing the Caribbean nations and a lot of the Northern European nations.
Right.
Like we're doing a very good job of developing their people. And I think that these meets in the US that end up with those status, it is going to help them more than it's going to help anybody else, because all the American kids, like at the end of the day, status meets are sort of irrelevant for Americans because you're never going to get in off of your world ranking.
Right.
Because you have to make our team.
Yes.
And in order to make our team, everyone is going to make the standard.
Yes.
Right. So it's never going to be that scenario for you if you're American, ever.
So you're talking about two different worlds, and that's why, 2 years ago we see athletes skipping world championships to go to Europeans because they're chasing points. USA athletes have no choice. There is no choice. You have to go line up at your championships and make the standard. There's no in between. Yeah,
because I mean, if you look at the standards, as tough as they are, almost those standards will win USA's. Right? Like it's like I mean, like it takes what it takes as far as making our team is concerned, and inevitably, I don't think we have an event anymore that doesn't have 3 people with the standard.
Right.
So it helps. It will help in recruiting probably of internationals, and maybe you're going to have some more interesting conversations with internationals on your teams about wanting to go to certain meets or things of that nature. But I think for the vast majority of the collegians, and the vast majority of them are still Americans, it's a non-starter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I also think the events matter. If you got a discus thrower, we know where you're going. Right?
Yeah.
we're heading out west, baby.
Yeah.
They're distance runners. We're heading out west. And for the sprinters, it's not. It is what it is. Right? Show up at the NCAA, be ready to run. You'll get it.
Well, what I found laughable is like the list of events. Right? The men's mile and the women's 1500 are on there.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we need any more silver level miles or 1500s on this planet?
Money makers.
Well, you're catering to an audience.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yep.
Governor, did you want to finish your thought? We didn't get to hear the rest of your thought.
No, it's okay.
Okay. Just making sure.
All right.
All right. Well, I mean, as if we didn't give you enough, we're going to leave you on that cliff to come back next week, because that it's happening, right?
Yeah.
Outdoor season opens up. It's going to
Real
open up a little
season
bit.
is here, baby. Let's go. We're outside where we live and breathe.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for all of you crazies to host a meet this weekend, best wishes and sanity to you. To those of you who are smart enough to just go to those meets, God bless you. Like, that's so smart. But nonetheless, everyone have a great week ahead of you. Travel safe to wherever you're going. To those of you who travel for your spring break, get home safely, and we'll see each other soon. Bye, everyone.